You're 55 plus years young, looking at that 60 years young door, and you're thinking, what's next? Well, what might I get involved with? Well, some of you are going to be grandparents, and or you have a family where there are children involved, and you're thinking, how might I be able to interact with them and take a look at helping them to understand what might be coming next, even from their interaction with the natural world. This video is about writing your legacy story. I'm going to go over 10 ways in which to collect some of the insights and ideas and interpretations that you might use in actually writing your story. But also, it could be about videotaping your story. It could be about writing a poem. It could be about actually composing a song. Whatever creative way in which you want to express this legacy story is going to be made available to you. Before I dive in, I'm just going to remind you to subscribe, ring the bell, comment, like, and share so that we can continue to learn together as we look at writing your legacy story. There's a couple of points I'd like to make just before I dive into those 10 actions that you can take. The first thing I'd like to acknowledge again is that it's writing. It's whatever creative process that you want to use. Aside from writing, there are other ways. Writing a poem rather than a story. You could also record your thoughts using video. You could write a song. I just want to remind you that the creative process is wide open here for you. I'm just trying to get a sort of a focal point right now for this presentation. It's your legacy story. Now, the great thing about your in the English language is it could be a singular your, or it could be a plural. So you might be writing your, but it might involve other people. You might interview them. You might draw in their stories that you've heard from them. So don't take it as just being singular about you yourself, but it also could be about a group of people. The legacy component of this is defined as the useful whats that you gift others so that they can learn something from your lived experience. So this legacy story is coming from your experiences and you're gifting it to others so that they can learn something from you. And by watching it, reading it, listening to it, they will get insights from you that will help them to learn. The next element is story. And we as human beings so enjoy stories. And when we hear stories, we can connect the ideas that are being expressed in the stories. We heard of Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, which finds its way into many movies. So there are ways in which to look at story. I just want to acknowledge a couple of ways in which to look at story. There is the notion of the workplace story. Then there's your personal story. And then there's something of a combination of those stories, and they often form your legacy story. So bringing what it is that you have done in support of work and what it is that you have done in support your living gives you a sense of your legacy story, which is about your life and wanting to share. Now, this video is also tapping into those of you who are declaring yourself an elder. You might find yourself being a mentor. And as time goes by through the Wellth movement, we'll be offering insights about celebrant and about weaver. Now, the M is for magnificent, and this is a way to figure out what your word for the world is. From your legacy story, you might understand what your word for the world is. Mine is magnificence, therefore I'm a magnificent. We would then replace magnificent with your word so that you might understand a way in which to look at how and why and when and where and who is involved with your legacy story. So we'll be opening up possibilities for you to learn about your word for the world. But this video is highlighting your declaration of being an elder rather than an older, and moving into the world of mentor. In other words, you are providing the opportunity for others to ask questions of you, to actually tap into your lived experience, and you to share your lived experience at the same time as learning more because of the questions asked, but the conversations that unfold for you, that you become a storyteller in and a story listener. It's such a wonderful way in which to interact with the world. And the beauty of it, it actually gives you more insights, interpretations, and ideas that you can weave into your legacy story. So I wanted to just share those beginning elements to going into the 10 actions that you can take to start gathering your ideas and insights. And they're not necessarily as they unfold in any particular order, yet if you can cover all 10, you will find that you have a considerable amount of data you can turn into information to guide your writing, your creating of somehow in some way, the recording that you want to do, the writing of the song, whatever means of creative process that you wish to apply.